Can we talk a little bit about Rashad when he was in kindergarten and what you found about his reading, and then what happened in first grade?
When he was in kindergarten, he used to read his books upside down, and that was more comfortable for him, and it was much easier. He was proficient at everything in kindergarten. Kindergarten had no problems, no worries, no concerns, no anything. I would ask the teacher, how was his day? Was there anything different? Was there anything abnormal? Even when we had a parent-teacher conference, I would ask, and I would never get that he had a problem with anything.
Okay. The teacher knew that, or was aware that he was doing his reading upside down, didn't have a problem with it,
No.
and he was fine.
She was perfectly normal. Whatever was easier and comfortable for him, she allowed him to do that because he was able to still, achieve that educational goal that she had set. So therefore, he was able to read upside down. He was able to write his letters any way that he wanted to. She might correct some, but not all. She just allowed him. It wasn't until we got into first grade that we started running into problems. Oh, I think he's ADHD. Oh, I think he's this. Oh, I think he's that. They wouldn't allow him to continue what he did in kindergarten versus, such as reading his book upside down. No, you have to read it this way. You have to read it this way because this is how it's supposed to be. And we ran into a lot of problems with first grade, and that's when I went and took it upon myself to go get him tested to find out exactly what was wrong. Because I knew my child wasn't ADHD. I knew he wasn't ADD. And I knew he wasn't BAD if they even thought that. But I took it upon myself, and we got him tested at the age of 7 and found out that he was dyslexic. And once we found out he was dyslexic, and we also found out that he did not have, along with his dyslexia, that he had ADHD or anything like that. I had 3 different doctors from 3 different practices to write me letters to state that he was not ADD or ADHD. I even submitted that to the school, and they constantly, every time we went up for an IEP meeting, they constantly wanted to be in. Oh, he's ADHD. His attention is just not there. He's not this. He's not that. But I took it upon myself to keep fighting to say, oh, no. You're not going to give my child that label. If anything, you're going to be there to teach him, and you're going to teach him in a comfortable way. So if he reads his book upside down, let him read his book upside down, because that's how he is comfortable. I don't want him to have to adjust to what they consider normal. I want him to be able to be himself, and it's okay to stand out and be different, because I love being different. Yes. And we even went to a symposium, I guess, a symposium last year with the International Dyslexic Association, and they actually had a speaker. I want to say his name was Paul Mooney. I know the last name is Mooney. He's dyslexic, and he told his story, as well as he said, what is deemed to be normal? Everybody has their own definition of normal. So let's not try to force kids who happen to have a disability to be your normal, because it's not right and it's not fair. So first grade is when we really kind of hit a wall that they said, hey, this kid, there's something seriously wrong with him. He needs this, he needs that. And I was determined that let him read the way he can read so that we can get this educational achievement. But
they didn't do it.
They didn't do it.
Okay, so here we are now. He's in 5th grade.
Yes.
Okay, so there wasn't much change in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade. You've been going through the same thing all this time.
Yes, as well as in 3rd grade, we actually got him tested, or actually this school district in California, because we're a military family, they did a test, the gifted and talented test, and found out that he was gifted and talented, and he scored the highest score. That is on record for, he scored a 99% on the test. And so we had to fight for him to get in to a gifted and talented class when he had the records to show that he is gifted and talented. They didn't want to put him in there saying that, oh, the principal told me he wouldn't get the services that he needs if he gets put in the gifted and talented class. And I told her, according to the Ideals Act, as long as he has his IEP, he can get whatever services need. he doesn't need to be in a regular classroom or gifted and talented class.
Right.
He should be able to get the help that he needs. So it wasn't until third grade that we finally got an IEP for him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we fought from first grade up to third grade to finally get the IEP. We finally get the IEP. He gets put into the gifted and talented class, but people were not coming to give him the support that he needed,
Mm-hmm.
such as reading and OT. So we finally got that in there. Fourth grade, they put him in an AVID class. Okay, we moved in 2013, got here. He gets put into the IEP, or we had the IEP meeting. I bring up about maybe getting him the Orton Gilliam, trying to get some kind of services in. Well, they were stunned that I would know anything about that. And they were like, well, how do you know anything about that? And I said, because I, unlike some other parents, I'm trying to find the help and the services that he needs.
Mm-hmm.
And I even had him try doing different things to try to get him the help, to read. And it wasn't until we were able to get in contact with Miss Arena here to get the help, as well as get involved with you. And that's when we found out that, hey, he needs to go back to reading upside down because he can read. And we was also told in our first IEP meeting here in October that he was on a first grade reading level. Here my son is in 5th grade and can only read a first grade reading level. And I wasn't accepting of that.
Right.
And
And what happened once we met, which was about, 5 or 6 weeks ago,
yes,
maybe?
once.
Okay, and we basically said, Rashawn, go ahead and do it the best way. Now, have you seen any difference in his reading and maybe his self-confidence?
Yes. Since we've been working with you, his reading has changed tremendously. His confidence has gotten so much higher and better. I mean, prime example, a couple weeks ago, he came home talking about, Mom, I don't know what to do. I have girls fighting over me. So his confidence has gotten so much better, as well as we found out that he needs to go back to reading his book upside down.
Wait till those girls see him read Harry Potter upside
Yes.
down. Then they'll really be impressed.
Yes, but we found out that if he would have just stuck with reading upside down, I'm sure
Yep.
he would be on grade level.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would be.
Mhm.
Only because when he did it with you, I mean, I was so surprised and stunned that right after, I was like, wow, it brought tears to my eyes because here we started out doing the right thing.
You did.
And we had him on track. He was proficient in everything, and then all of a sudden, their normal came and bit us in our backside and messed him up. And now that we saw that he's going back to reading upside down, he has done tremendously. I mean, he came home on Friday and told us that he took the kneecap and his scores increased by 81%. So it's obvious that he needs to go back to reading upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's his normal and that's his comfort zone.
Right.
So why can't we do that in the classroom?
Well, we can, and eventually, once he's really confident, he'll flip it on his own. He'll be able to read it any way he holds the book.
Yes.
But the big problem is the confidence.
Yes.
And he's been kept down since 1st grade and 2nd grade and 3rd grade and 4th grade. And when he gets his confidence, he'll be able to do it any way that
Yes.
he wants.
Yeah.